What is responsibility? It has all as civilization. Wherever you live in a community or in tribes, you have some sort of responsibility to do. From olden times like taking night patrols to modern times like taking out the trash. Yes, taking out the trash is the best example that I would come up with. There are many types of responsibilities, from chosen, inherited, public, and private. To understand responsibility in itself, we have to look at its street definition. Responsibility refers to the duty of having authority over something or someone. If you are responsible for something, you will be held accountable for the outcome of what comes from it, as it is your duty. It can also be taken as if you are responsible for task A, if you are unable to fulfill your task A, you have failed, hence you will be held accountable. If I'm given the task of feeding the kitten and I don't feed it, I will be held accountable. This is the local street definition of responsibility, which is quite weak if I do say so myself. Either way, in every step of our life, we are responsible for something, be it true or not. Though in the newer generation, we like to claim that, oh, we are not responsible for anything or anyone, we are just responsible for our own selves. I want to explore what is responsibility. A private responsibility can be with friends and family. There is also the partner responsibility, which is another deeper topic which I will get into in a future video, but not right now. A parent gives birth to you and raises you. Are you obligated to look for them whenever they get older? Just because they did something for you, should you do something back for them? That's the real question over here. For ages, people have argued parents did something for you, hence you should also do something for them as back. But isn't responsibility a give and take situation? Because you did something for me, I will do something for you, which in itself is quite flawed if you think about it. If you again and again say that, oh, you do something for me, that I'm going to do something for you, that is just going to make people hold on to things and say, like, oh, you didn't do that for me, I'm not going to do that. It's going to cause problems later on as well. A parent is responsible for their children. But why? The most common reason people give is that they give birth to the child. But the child didn't ask for it. Hence, isn't it selfish to assume that the other party, the child, should be held accountable for their well being because they took responsibility for them because they want to have them? That's like ask. I was going to give a bad example. What I told you over here is a very common argument. To talk about this topic in a deeper view, I will reference a philosopher, Arthur Schopenhauer. 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 Shipu Shupenhurai. Shupuria. It's a hard name, I must say, but I'll put the name over here. You can read it. Probably you can. Hello, this is the editor me. I forgot to read this part out loud when I was recording the video and I had to cut it out. So I'm just gonna read out over here. I think the idea that we could have chosen not to be born is illusionary and meaningless. We are a part of an ongoing process of life and perpetuation of a species, which goes on and on, as the song says, both within you and without you. Specific line breaks the whole argument of anyone that says that, oh, you could have chosen something, as you could have not chosen how not to be born. You could have chosen not to be born, yet you were born. The specific line, I think the idea that we could have chosen to be born is illusionary and meaningless. So what should a person do? Are they responsible or not? Should they take care of them when they get old and cranky? They take care of them when they get old and cranky. From a moral standpoint, in every religion throughout history, we have always been taught to take care of our elders as it's a natural response. Even if you don't love them, you take care of them out of responsibility. But I personally believe you should not take care of them out of obligation. You should take care of them out of love. If you cannot take care of them out of love, then what are you taking care of them at all? Just to pay back? Responsibility isn't something that you give and take. But remember, I'm here just to give you an idea or a head start. The rest is your own thinking. I cannot dictate your own thoughts. I cannot dictate your thoughts. It's up to you to decide and think for yourself in the end. The responsibility of friends. This is a wide topic which has been explored over the decades multiple times. Responsibility with friends is on a very strange line that constantly twists and turns over the places, which no one can clearly define where friendship truly begins. Give you a situation. You and your friend go out. You You both have a car ride home, but while going back, his car doesn't work. It broke down. Now, should you help him? Every normal person would say, yes. But why? You aren't responsible towards him. Yet, why help him? You have no obligation. Yet, you will help him. I do love using the word yet a lot, as you have figured out. So, as he is your friend, you have the title that you have given to him, and you have received as well, of being a friend. The title in itself holds a lot of power. The title of being a friend gives you a responsibility to bear. We often like to believe that we are free, that we have no obligations and no things holding us down. But that's furthest from the truth. Unless you are Fernando Perseo. Fernando Perseo. I'm sorry I butchered your name. Fernand and are truly nothing. You have titles, which come with responsibilities. Connections make us a being. A being without connections is just an idol. That is something that a philosopher said once, which I cannot find the reference to right now, sadly. With the so-called self-care, connections are harder to form. Ask any young blood if they have any friends. They will take a minute or two to answer if they have any friends or not. The title of being a friend has gone too up or too low. You are responsible for a friend, and as somewhere in the back of your mind, you believe that they would do the same thing for you. It is an obligation that isn't written down anywhere. It isn't said, yet you both know it. You both silently agree on it when becoming friends. A friendship is a chosen responsibility, chosen and inherited responsibility. A chosen responsibility is something that you choose to accept. I can't believe I have to explain something so simple. I had a friend that I previously read the script to, and I had to explain to him what chosen responsibility is. And I just added that part in because if he didn't understand it, bruh, that's another low for him, okay? I can't believe that guy somewhere. Ah! Anyways, a lot of things fall under chosen responsibility. A common example are leaders. Any leader, for a matter of fact, has chosen a responsibility over the nation, has chosen responsibility over the nation or the team, a leader. Let's suppose you get a job to make a report. Now it's your responsibility to use of the best of your abilities to make the report. The rest is upon, but your leader is responsible for you. We often see politicians make promises that they are responsible for something that's being done, but often when they fail, repercussions they get no, they get nothing. They aren't held accountable for that. That's a problem on its own. If I start talking about it, we'll be here all day, which I'm not gonna do. Anyways, I've gotten a bit off topic. Let's come back to it. Inherent responsibilities. One of my favorite topics, actually. I have very fun researching it. This is a scenario I got from a very neat place. The title of it is Do Descendants Bear the Responsibility for the Actions of Their Ancestors? Consider the following two scenarios, a specific one and one more general one. Consider the following scenario. A long time ago, a robber stole a huge sum of money from the bank and got away with it. Robert had a child, Yunke, and Yunke went to a university and became a wealthy doctor. Robbers used the stolen funds to pay for Uni's university education. The stolen bank deposits were not insured at the time, and it turns out that Robert had stolen from the saving account of a person named John. John also had a child, Paul, who had hoped to be sent to a university as well to become a wealthy doctor. But after the theft, John could not afford to send Paul to the university, but with an income fraction of that of Yunke's. Decades pass, Rob and John have died. Yunke and Paul are still both very much alive. Paul recently found out that Yunke's father was the original bank robber that stole the money. Here's the question I was given with it. Are there any moral theories that you could prescribe an obligation or debt toward a debt from Junckes to Paul, i.e., if anything, what does Junkhe owe Paul? People in the thread had great answers, saying that this is similar to the minorities that had suffered from slavery a long time ago. Should they be compensated? Most people were saying that Yuki was innocent and she didn't have a direct say in it. The debt was on the father, the robber, Rob, and the and but Paul wasn't compensated. What should be done? In this situation, there isn't an inherent responsibility. Paul can be compensated by kind strangers, but that's it. Yuki does not have an obligation towards Paul. Paul also cannot hold Yuki responsible. The one who committed the robbery, and she wasn't involved in it. What if she was in the dark? Context matter, right? If we solve every ethical dilemma with step-by-step process to get the great answer, we could just say that, oh, there's steps to be a great person, but that's further from the truth. I'm going to talk about this in a future video or so. What have we noticed from this essay? If you can figure it out, let me spell it out for you. Titles and names of a person. We get responsibilities with titles, be it anyway, in the smaller titles or the biggest ones. Which title you have gives you a responsibility, an obligation. Daughter, son, father, mother, friend, senior, leader, manager. Even robber. Even Rob had a title of robber. Even robber has, which gave him a responsibility towards him as he was obligated to, as he was guilty, as he had that. It was his responsibility, but he was a robber. What do you expect a robber to do? Intellectual beings have relations with others, which give us a title, and these titles bear us responsibilities. The responsibility of the title isn't something new, it is old as civilization. Hence, we are being the responsibility whenever we have a title. Tell me about your thoughts in the comments. I would love to read them. Adios!